Oh, there we go. A fucking mess. Boom.
Hey, can you see me?
I could see you, but you're on a little bit of a delay.
Can hear me though?
Yep.
All right. So let's see here. Okay. All right. I think we're live. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like we are. Let's see. A couple people are jumping on. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. So hey, how's it going? Happy Sunday.
What's up? How are you doing?
Pretty good. Let's see. Awesome. Couple people are jumping on. So perfect. So
I predict this will be
what
a
are you up to
very,
today?
what's that?
What'd you say?
I
Oh,
said
go ahead.
I predict this is going to be a very low numbered show.
Low number show. Well, thank you for the vote of confidence.
Yeah, but it's because of me. So, anyway, how are you?
I'm great here with one of my dear friends. Oh my gosh. This is going to be a good one. Anybody who knows who you are, which should be pretty much everybody, should know this is going to be a good show.
Well, I don't think not many tarantula people know me. I think, but a lot of snake people know me, and I'm glad I could have a whole new audience that'll tell me about how much I suck at all day. So, fantastic.
So let's see. We've got a couple people here watching already. So tell us in the chat, guys. Are you all tarantula people, reptile people? Are you just interested in exotic animals? Because I am a little curious what my demographic is at this point. Because you know that I work with a number of animals, but as we talked about, when I started my channel, I really started it just to the niche audience of tarantula keepers. And a few years ago, started to diversify what we were filming. And so I am a little bit curious how well I am known in the reptile world and what percentage of my audience are reptile people at this point.
I do know that
So you
the majority of my fans know who you are.
Oh, well, that's very awesome. So let's talk about your business briefly. I know that that's not really what I want to focus on you today. Why did you choose to focus on ball pythons when you did?
We saw the money aspect of it right away. You know, that was the whole thing. I mean, when we first got into this, bumblebees were selling for $20,000, and
Right.
$60, and that continued on. And I told my partners, I was like, "Hey, this would be pretty cool if we got into it. Even if we just made $5,000 a year, it's a
Right.
little hobby to have, right?" 6 months later, we had 300 snakes, and we were running it like a business. So we were kind of forced to run it like a business a lot quicker than we had anticipated. When you have
So that
300 snakes, it becomes a job,
yeah, you and Danny, right?
Me, Danny, and at the beginning, we had another partner, Donato, who most people know from. He's done a couple of my shows with me, and he's just a funny ass Italian Goomba, So it's between the Italian, the Goomba, and the Puerto Rican, and me. We did okay for quite a while.
Awesome. So the people on the chat are saying one is basically an invert person. She says she has I think it's a woman, 3 aquaria. So you'll have to tell me what aquaria are, and a pit bull. So of course she has a dog.
I
The
don't
other
even know.
guy,
I know
what?
what Pitbull is.
Yeah.
Right.
The other guy says that he has 4 T's and 75 ball pythons and some other snakes.
That's how it all starts.
Yeah.
I'm glad we have 2 people listening. So that's 2 more
10,
people than I normally have listening. Okay.
10 people.
Right. But yeah,
go
the 7 I can relate more to the 75 guy because ball pythons are kind of like they're like potato chips, you know, you can't just have one.
Right.
And you always end up getting more. I would caution them to, you know, keep it under 100 because anything over 100 starts becoming a real job, you know?
Right.
So, I mean, at the end of our run, you know, we had about 700 total at the shop, and we pared that down to about 100 now. So,
Yeah, that was just recently.
yeah, you can't work 8 to 10 hours a day at a real job and then come home and work 6 to 8 hours at another job and have it end up, you know, like our shop, you know, was costing us thousands of dollars a month.
Right.
And when you don't make, you know, the fixed cost and you got to dig into your own pockets, that's when it starts getting, you know, a little bit annoying. So we
Right.
pared it down. We have a lot of, like, we do probably 20% wholesale now and sell the rest of the snakes at market value because we just kept the expensive morphs. We're not dicking around with bullshit anymore.
Oh, notice my beautiful shirt, everyone.
I'll tell you, I noticed a lot more than the shirt.
So this shirt is one of Chris's. Maybe I should sit up a little higher or something. Give me the. And so Chris has a beautiful merch line. And so when did you start your merch line?
Probably just about 6 months ago.
Oh, really?
When we started really getting the numbers on the podcast that we wanted, we figured let's try doing shirts. We had like limited run shirts before this, a couple of baseball hats even. But when we started doing the shirts, it was just about 6 months ago, and we're gonna have new shirts in January of 2020.
Awesome. Obviously, this is a women's shirt, which I really appreciate because I'm sorry, no woman looks good in a big square t-shirt. I will say that Ahmad shirts from Aussie Boets, they're made from such a nice material that it kind of is a little more fitted. So that's a good looking shirt. But nobody's shirts look as good as this shirt. So
that's what I'm saying.
Genius.
We know where our bread is buttered, and we figure we have to have shirts that show off the tits. And I like, don't get me wrong, I like the flat chested chicks too, but they normally order men's shirts.
Oh,
okay.
Well, flat chested women, what do you say?
Yeah. Great. More people to curse me out. Good. Great. Good job. Nicely done.
So, hey, you said you love them. So, no, honestly, though, I mean, I like representing my friends. I like supporting other companies. But I'll be honest, I don't like wearing a big, ugly t-shirt. And this is a beautiful shirt. It's a beautiful shirt. And so I actually throw this on the weekends when I'm going to Target to go, I don't know, go buy granola or whatever it is that I'm going to buy. And it's just really cute and I like it. And of course, people are like, wow, what is that? And I'm like, Chris Eaton, he's a podcaster and he's really hilarious. And so really smart to, I don't know anyone else who makes shirts that flatter women. I have other people that have sent me tank tops, but it's just the super cheapest, yuckiest material. And it's like a cheap, like a box, like square material with straps.
With spaghetti straps, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, don't get me wrong. I can rock that, but it's just not as flattering. And so, yeah, this was really smart to make a really flattering design. And I've seen on your social media pages that a lot of women obviously want to take pictures in this t-shirt and send it to you, and it just starts a whole chain of wow, what shirt is that, who is that, and it's fun.
That's the whole reason I did it. I was like, what do I have to do to see the boobs of women that I've always wanted to see the boobs of, but I'm never going to get the chance. So
there we go.
We just we said take a picture with them. I didn't ask for boob pictures right away, but they started coming in, and so we just took it and ran with it. I mean, we sold out of these shirts probably a month and a half ago, 2 months ago.
Yeah.
And we just have male shirts now left.
So you said in January you're going to work on a new design?
No, we have the new design already. We're going to premiere them at the Conroe show in
cool.
Texas. So
tell me about the shows that you're hitting.
Well, this year, as of right now, I'm just hitting Herps Conroe on January 25th and 26th. And then I'm going to go back to New Orleans and hit a Herp show there. But those are the shows that I'm actually going to have a table at and interview people at and have fun with. I'm still going to go to Tinley, Daytona. I'm going to try and get out to the Super Show out in California this year.
Are you?
And then for the other podcasts, we're going to different Comic-Cons around the country also. So the podcasting stuff is keeping me busy, on top of the work thing. And now that I only have a limited number of snakes here, I can go away for, a couple of days at a time. So
right. So Chris actually has two Snake and the Fatman start. Snakes and the Fatman start.
2016.
Oh, wow. Okay. So at that time, it was you and Sean Bradley, which was exotics by nature and now is kind of shift to aquatics by nature. And Sean has since moved away from ball pythons. And so then it was just you. But you actually kind of broadening your spectrum on Snakes and the Fatman. So tell us about that.
Well, I don't really. I mean, between me and Sean, and if you remember, what the hell, Josh Beatty, who did Reptile Radio, there's probably 800 hours worth of ball python bullshit on the internet where you just go and learn everything you need to know. And honestly, how many times are you going to ask a guy, like, what kind of bedding do you use? What jeans do you keep? Like nobody fucking cares anymore, Right. So now what we're doing is we're trying to kind of broaden the horizon and get non-snake people on, which I just had a Ty Park on.
He's amazing.
Ty Park is insanely amazing. He's one of the nicest guys I ever talked to. We're going to have a friend of mine that's the vice president of the 501c3 for a local animal shelter here, Mary Cronin. We're going to have Sean Gray on of Herps Exotic Reptile Shows. And it's like, if you don't raise snakes, you have more of a chance of being on my podcast now.
Yeah.
If you wrote a book, if you're writing a movie, if you're producing a play, if you're investing in I don't give a shit. You'll get preferential treatment over these shitty ball python people. And the only other caveat I have is if your company has a stupid name, you'll never be on the show.
For example?
I don't want to name these jerk offs who have these shitty names. But believe me, that they are aware that it's a dumb fucking name from the get-go, So if your name has nothing, and the whole exotics thing, like if you had a snake business, you're going to call it De La Pena Exotics. Like be original, be creative, and just do something. I fucking hate people. Like I'm the worst person to do a podcast or have on a show because I literally hate 90% of the people out there. What are you gonna do?
You're
If
you.
90% of the people weren't assholes, maybe I wouldn't hate them that much.
Oh, so it's them that's the asshole.
Their fault. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So tell us about the other show and what motivated that to start. Now, wasn't it originally 3 of you?
It was originally 3 of us. It was a black guy, a Puerto Rican guy, and me. Okay.
Yeah.
And we were all friends in high school. And we lost touch, but then we got back together 30 years later, through Facebook. And it didn't work out for Artie. He was a little bit too busy. So me and Kemp started doing this podcast because we would always have these dumb conversations in private. Where he'd say, "Why are there no black people in Jaws?" Or why is there no black people in Star Wars, right?
Yeah.
And, I would just basically tell him, well, most of the people in New England have jobs, so there's your answer to your question right there. So and then he would get insulted that I would make a comment about black people and jobs, and then we'd get into arguments for like hours. And then we just thought,
which is entertaining.
We just thought it was funny, and we're kind of old school New York guys, even though I hate being from New York, but where you could make jokes about somebody's race or somebody's culture, and it's not fucking offensive. And if you get offensive, like if you get triggered like a little bitch snowflake, like that show is not for you.
Right.
So and we just don't care. It's like Archie Bunker and George Jefferson, if you guys remember that, and then we just talk about a bunch of pop culture shit and new movies, and we travel to different Comic-Cons and do the show live from there, and people tend to get a kick at it. But it's not a kid-friendly show. We curse a lot. We we make racist jokes. We try to keep it normal, but it normally just devolves into racist jokes about each other and jokes about each other's mothers. So
interesting.
But it's been a fun show, and the reason that we started all of it is because one of the guys was in a little bit of a depression, and we were like, hey, let's just get together and talk about shit and record it, and at least it'll get your mind off the shit that was depressing you, and that's how the whole thing started.
Well, that's awesome, because I feel like in our country particularly, we have a huge problem with people allowing themselves to be debilitated by, I don't want to say small things as if mental health isn't real or it's not important, but okay, so let's say that you're struggling with depression. There are things that you can do. Find a hobby, exercise. And it doesn't always have to be take a pill. I mean, don't get me wrong, I believe in modern medicine, but sometimes just like get off your ass and do something's going to make you feel better.
I don't even believe in depression. I mean, I don't believe in depression with these married women who are sulking around the house after their kids go to school saying my life sucks and this is so horrible. Yeah. You weren't seeing a bunch of cavemen walking around with depression. All right.
Right.
Because I think that what people have to start realizing is that the world doesn't give a shit about your problems. So you whining and bitching on Facebook about you being in a depression, or you having this and that wrong with you. What? Fuck you, man up and fucking walk it off. And you just get on my nerves. I mean, there's some people that have to take, medicine for it.
Right. And I get that.
But I am, when I see all these people bitching on Facebook and Instagram about how shitty their lives are, go out and fucking change it. You could get a free college degree on YouTube now for no cost, and you have no excuse not to better yourself. So fuck you, and step up to the plate.
Well, I really think that a lot of the sickness, mentally and physically, and I'm not saying gluten intolerance isn't real, but a lot of these health problems that we have cropping up, I think that it's due to an idle body and idle mind. man is an animal, just like any other animal. We have survival instincts, and we are programmed to hunt, gather, move, eat meat, in my opinion, but that's just my opinion. And so our bodies are not designed to sit on a couch all day long and order takeout. Do I want to do that? Of course I do. But I really feel like these people that have some of these problems, it's problems that are occurring because we're out of our natural state. And don't get me wrong, I live in a house, I have a computer, and I love to sleep in sometimes, but I also know that my mind and body is very busy, and that also, if there's something that you really want to do, no one's stopping you but you. And it drives me nuts when people say, oh gosh, you have a YouTube channel. Oh, I wish I could do that, but I don't have a camera, and they're texting me this or messaging me this on Instagram from their phone. I started on a phone.
Yeah.
I got my phone. I, taped it up on the wall, and I said, let's do this.
And you did a video. Yep.
Yeah. And our first videos sucked. They were awful. Even our most popular video was done on an older camera that we've upgraded things since then. And, we're always trying to evolve and make things better. Oh, I wish I could start, but I just, I don't have the money to buy stuff.
Yeah.
I had an old broken down laptop, and I was using a Windows Movie Maker just to have a little title scroll in across the screen.
Right.
I mean, the tools are out there. Go to the public library. I mean, it can be.
I know what you're talking about, and it used to be a lot of if you're going to create content, just get it out there kind of mentality. But I don't think, not to totally disagree with you, because I think that there's validation in that. But also right now, you have to be able to compete with the people that are doing it well.
I do agree with that.
And the thing is that you just have to invest a little bit of money in yourself. Like, if you believe that you could do something, go out and fucking do it. Like put shit on a credit card, get loans to kind of step your game up a little bit. But I don't agree with these people that want to do everything for free and say, oh, I can't get it up, because there's plenty of tools that you could get content on the web with for free that you could still do it. Will it sound as good as like a $500 microphone? No, but it'll still get your idea across. And if you just show people that you want to do it, people will support you in it, whether it's watching, whether it's listening. But let's get back to this gluten shit too, because this gluten shit is such a bunch of bullshit. I can't have gluten. Gluten slows me down. Fuck you and your gluten. There was no such thing as gluten when we were growing up. Did you ever cook a fucking a bowl of pasta? How long does that take you to boil a bowl of pasta?
10 seconds.
I had gluten-free pasta once. Took me 75 minutes to boil it. Okay? That's a fucking over an hour to boil this shit without gluten. You need gluten to live. Okay? So fuck you people and your fucking gluten bullshit. I can't stand it. It's so... If we had to go to war right now, half the country would be wiped out.
Seriously. And so going back to what you said about publishing quality material, I totally believe in that. So I definitely take loans, put it on credit cards, but I also think that you should have something to offer. I don't get these people who come on and they have no talent, no skill, no plan, and they're just sitting there maybe complaining, which a rant video has its moments. But to me, this is something, it's a job, and I feel like it should be apparent that you put time and energy toward creating some type of product. If I'm going to watch it, if I'm going to spend not my money, but my time, what am I going to get in return? And so, like, for the guy who doesn't have any money, but he wants to start a YouTube channel, and he's a tarantula breeder or a snake breeder or a stamp collector or whatever, I think that you should grow your hobby and work on your art and bring in capital that way. So let's say I have one tarantula. I have a rose hair that I got from Petco. Well, that's cool, but learn more about it. I mean, start building your own enclosures, or collect more animals, or do something, bring in capital and invest that into your channel.
Yeah. And get partners. Get partners that you trust, because you may be like a penniless joke, but everybody aren't all penniless jokes. So you could have a money guy. You could have a guy to just invest some money into you.
True.
And that you share profit with. You could have a guy that invests his work or the tech time into it, and he takes a percentage of it. You don't have to know how to do everything in order to get started. I mean, it's like, I've seen your videos. I've seen your videos, how they started and what they are now. And I remember watching a video with you that didn't even have a front bumper intro. So it's like, you're not going to get there. And look, I'm sitting at a desk right now that has probably $10,000 worth of equipment on it. I didn't start with this fucking desk, and I got desks back there that I do video and shit that have a lot more on it. So I didn't start with all this. I started with me talking to a friend about it, and my friend saying, hey, if you want to try this stuff, I'll give you $1,000, and fucking whatever we make off it, we just split. It's called sweat equity. Like, there's a guy that puts actual money into it, and there's a guy that actually works it, and that's the way most partnerships are set up.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I mean, everyone has something to offer. For some people, that's just money and the satisfaction that they're investing in a project while someone else does the legwork. Right.
Exactly. And there are people out there that think that they have interesting ideas, but don't at all. Like, you could care less. Like, fucking.
You'd be shocked though. There's an audience for it.
That's what I was going to bring it around to that. You have the internet now, though, so you have access to millions of people at all times. Like, and there is going to be somebody else out there that's into your dumb little hobby of goldfish breeding or something like that.
Yeah, I like to watch these social documentaries, and it's just a lot of it's cultural stuff about indigenous communities in New Zealand, but a lot of it's like unusual. Sometimes it's people with like birth defects and kind of how they live their life and what they go through, and some of it's just, I'll say, things that I'm not familiar with. For example, I didn't know anything about like the whole trans community and all that. So I'm a teacher. I was interested in learning about it because, of course, I have to approach all of that with respect, and I want to know more about it. Well, that often leads into different types of documentaries. Thank you, internet. Like a woman who identified as not a man or a woman, but as a cat. So she likes to wear cat ears, and she likes to do the pet play. And I'm just like, okay. I bet you there's a lot of people who would love to watch her videos of pet play. Would I have ever thought of that? No, but cool. There's an audience for it.
Well, realistically, those people are fucking fucked in the head. I mean, really. I mean, fucking, come on. Like, I want to identify tomorrow morning as a toaster because I feel like being gender fluid. Get the fuck out of here.
You could probably even marry a toaster in some states.
This is bullshit.
I was reading a story about a woman who married a ghost, a pirate ghost, and it was so romantic and all this stuff. And they had the ceremony on this old ship. And then I saw later that there was another news story where she had to divorce the ghost because he got very malice. And I was just like, how did this happen? How did this happen?
A woman in Kentucky that married a Ferris wheel. Okay, so fucking, if you really think that's okay, get the and I have a lot of trans friends now. Believe it or not, the actual the comic book pop culture thing introduced me to a lot of trans people.
I bet.
And I don't agree with them, but I disagree with probably 80% of their stances on things. But we still have enough in common where I don't, I don't care what they are. However, okay, if you have a dick, I'm gonna call you a he no matter what. If you have a vagina, you're a she no matter what. You know why? Because it's been that way from the beginning of time. And like science tells you penis male, vagina female. All right. You're all depending on science until it comes around and says, okay, well, what about this? And all of a sudden you have a disagreement with science. Then you're like, fuck science. But no, look, I don't call babies babies. I don't call people za. I wouldn't tell people they're Latin X. Get the fuck out of here. You are out of your fucking mind. But I respect what they're doing, and they're not bothering anybody. So let them do their own thing. So that's the whole thing. As far as what I think about that is, I know so many drag queens now, like a lot of drag queens. I know a lot of gay guys, and I especially know a lot of gay women. Like I've spent my life playing in bands with gay women and what I didn't know at the time, gay guys. But now I have one friend in particular who he's like my little gay avatar. And what I do is I send him out into the world and he does gay stuff. And then I ask him about it. So I don't have to do the gay stuff. He's done it. And
so you out to survey the gay populations or what?
No, not really. He just goes and does gay things. Like fucking he'll suck a dick or he'll, take it in the butt. And I'll just be like, all right, what was that like? And he'd be like, oh, it was awesome. And then I start to think, fuck, am I missing out? Like, should I be sucking?
You never know, Chris.
But I'm not going to suck a dick, okay?
Come on. You might love it.
But I still like to know about it, I still like to know about it because he's and then I asked him if he would fuck me. And he was like, no. And I was offended. I was like, why wouldn't you fuck me? And he's like, well, because you're fat and white. And I'm like, oh. All right, cool.
So what is his type?
Black thugs.
Really? What is he like?
He's a short little white Irish guy.
Okay. That's going to disturb me later on when I'm falling asleep, trying to dream of unicorns and then...
No, I used to pull The Office on him where I would be like, have you ever been to jail? And he's like, no. And I'm like, you would really like jail.
Love jail.
That would be so fantastic for you.
I don't know, though, because I think, like, meeting a really hot dude in a club and, like, acting out your deepest fantasies is totally different from having your prison safe robbed, like, in a dirty cell somewhere.
No, I don't know. I think he would like that.
Maybe.
I mean, if I was gay, it would be that type of sex.
You would do that, and you'd be weird. You'd want people to dress up like elephants and stuff, probably.
No, I would. All right, I'm going to tell you a quick little story. This is not safe for your young people.
Yeah. So if you're below the age, if you're a child, please exit the show now. And I'm not even kidding.
I apologize for something. I've noticed that I saw this movie in it with Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory.
Yes.
The Incredible Hulk.
Yes.
Mark Ruffalo and some other guy, right? I didn't know it was a gay movie at the time, right?
Okay. You knew. Subconsciously you knew, but you wanted to see.
No. I thought it was just a movie with fucking Sheldon and the Hulk in it, right? So I must have nodded off. And then when I woke up, the Hulk was blowing Sheldon, right? And I was like, what the fuck is this, right? So I started watching the movie and I realized that I could handle hardcore gay sex. Like not that I can't handle it.
Yeah.
I can handle watching it. What I can handle is watching like two guys like touch each other's faces and kiss each other. And I'm like, this is gay. This is too gay for me. But knowing a lot of gay people now I'm totally like I'm not necessarily like move over and let me get some of that, but I'm like, hey, that's cool. Go do what you got to do. I've grown as a person, Marita.
I'm predicting old Chris is going to experiment with a new species of snake. Yes,
No.
I think you're going to.
You're predicting that I'm gonna fuck an animal?
No, a guy.
Like you're a sick fuck. Okay.
Me?
Yeah, a little bit. But no, I can't do it. I want to vomit every time I think of even doing a guy. You know, like there's certain guys that I would consider. You know, but well, you know, I'm a nerd, so it's gonna be like Ewan McGregor, dressed in a Ben Kenobi costume. Then I'd knock the shit out of Denzel Washington.
I can see that.
I
can see you stroking his face.
No, not at all. I'd slap him and choke him. No, I'd slap him and choke him.
All right. Do you have any man crushes on anyone in the reptile world?
Well, everybody always says I'm on Justin shit.
Yep.
Right? They're like, oh, how much is Justin paying you to suck his dick, Chris? And I tell them nothing. Justin's dick tastes delicious. Okay, so I'm doing it for free. But
tall enough that we're not even gonna go there.
No. There's not many guys I'd no. But I'll tell, like, guys that I am aware are good looking. Oh man, there's a fucking ton of them. Then they're all better looking than me. Look, I get the whole I'm on the lower side of average at best. I get the whole you look like fat tattooed Jesus. I get all that, right? But guys like Ozzy are fucking hot as shit. Like fucking Ozzy's a fucking good looking guy. Justin's kind of like a good looking guy, but he's kind of like a good looking Little House on the Prairie guy.
Yes.
Cusco is a good looking fucking guy, man. You know, he reminds me of a smaller The Rock, like Dwayne Johnson.
It's his. Yeah, I can see that. It's his. Like, you know, he's Hawaiian or something like that.
Right. Yeah. He used to live in Hawaii. Actually, I think that's where he met his wife.
Really?
And these are, you know, these are all nice guys, like, you know, on top of being good looking. Good looking women, fuck yeah. All my nerd friends are watching this at some point because they're just watching it to look at you.
There we go.
If you could arch the back a little bit, I'm sure they'd appreciate it.
Stretch a little. Okay.
That's you know what? It froze up right now. Man, get the fuck out of here! Really? All right, you'll have to do that.
Karma.
This is all for the geeks out there. There's not many women that are there. There's a lot of women in the snake industry, in the snake business, but women doing it full time, that very few. You know,
that's true. A lot of the women that I encounter, the truth is they're often the partner to the actual business owner or handler.
Right.
And I mean, I love to them because you know that they're there helping all the time, and that they even tolerate it is awesome, because I know a lot of guys who have either had to leave the hobby or leave their woman. Right. And I basically tell people, like, I'll be honest with you, like, if you have a love and a passion for this, I don't know if it's worth it trying to get into a long-term relationship with someone who isn't, because ultimately it usually ends in heartbreak, because the person who was willing to tolerate it comes to you one day and says, I hate snakes. I was okay with them before. It's all you talk about. It's all you do. I don't ever want to see a snake again. Either they go or I do. And I mean, it just depends on the situation. And, you know, I know plenty of guys who would say, you know, see ya. It was fun knowing you.
Right. Well, there is women that do it on their own, like, and are like smoking hot. Like Brittany Gobble is fucking hot as shit, man. Amber Marie Purvis is hot as shit. who else? Megan Wiles or Willis is hot as shit. They're they're people that are smart and are doing it right.
Yeah.
But the majority of people I see are the good looking women at the snake shows are like just the helpers. Like,
Yeah.
Anya Littlefield is fucking hot. Like, I don't know how Anya's husband got her. Like he must have a fucking 15-inch dick because fucking Anya is hot as shit. So and Matt's a nice guy. I'm not saying he's not a nice guy, but dude, fucking Anya's way out of your league. Your husband, way out of his league. Okay, there's a lot of people.
Hell,
there must be slim pickings in New Mexico. That's all I'm saying, because these guys must have perfect personalities, and I am aware that your husband has cocaine in there too. So I already know. One night we YouTubed, and he showed me. So, but it's all good. But yeah, the women really gotta, like, if they're willing to do this and they're willing to, I've met and interviewed a bunch of women that said, okay, I really had, I've seen Marito or I saw Brittany Gobble and they really inspired me. Actually, Brittany told me that at Tinley, a woman stopped her and said, I listened to your interview on Chris's show and it really inspired me to get into this. So really, we got to get, and I'll have women on the show, just don't do fucking ball pythons and don't have a stupid fucking name, to your company. And then you're welcome on the show. I will hit on you. I will make it, painfully obvious that I want to bang you if you're good looking. But here's the other thing. If you're a good looking woman, you automatically get an invite to the show.
There we go.
So it's the way it goes.
So ladies out there, contact Chris if you want to be on his show and have anything half interesting to say.
That's right.
If you're smart, you'll wear one of his shirts.
That's right. That's what I'm saying. So what's going on with you?
I'm on holiday break for Thanksgiving. That's awesome. So it used to be we would get like Thanksgiving Day and Friday off, which sucks. And now we get the full week, which obviously is a 9-day break. So that's really awesome because some people are ready to hang themselves by this time of the year. I'm one of those dumb, happy teachers who I love my kids. And I just do. I'm not mentally crazy. So, I mean, I'm like hugging them and they're crying before we leave on the break. But I do love my kids. If you're listening, this is kind of rated R, so you shouldn't be. But I do love you guys.
Doing that, you'll get all sorts of fucking germs. Kids are fucking diseased.
I know that. I know. What can I say? I wish that my superpower was not getting cooties. But between JD being at the hospital and me being at the school,
yeah, you guys are
contact with every disgusting bacteria and virus you could ever imagine.
You just dropped a point in hotness.
There we go. So you'll have to rule that out when you're thinking about it later. But
that's just the thing.
As you so often threaten to do.
Yeah.
So I'm on break from work, so that's really nice because we're doing some stuff. We had this insane incubator in our living room forever, and we did a bunch of stuff to move that out into the zoo last night, which of course we don't have room for. I'm raising up a miniature horse that was born this summer. That's awesome. She's pretty much the cutest creature that God created. I just love her. I kiss her on the face every day. And
I had one of those.
She is a terrible, naughty little girl, and I just love her.
We used to let ours in the house.
Oh yeah, mine come in the house.
I don't take a shit in the living room. I'd be like, we can't be having this. What if I did that?
It's easy.
No, it's gross. But anyway, yeah, the miniature horse thing is really cool. Yeah, I remember, we had a little one named Rocket, and we had lived in Colorado at the time, so it was a lot easier to take care of him. When you move back to LA after that, though, you're like, oh. So the miniature horse costs just as much as the large horse to board, So
right.
We're gonna get rid of that horse, right? Now, what are you doing for Thanksgiving?
So for Thanksgiving, we've got one kid that's all crazy for her boyfriend, so they're going to his family's place in Texas. So they want to have a dinner before that. So we're going to eat with them, and then we're actually going to go to Texas too to go hang out with my father-in-law because his company put him out in the middle of nowhere in this little, like a literal one-horse town, and he just works like a dog. So we're going to go crash his party, make dinner, and get him all nice and full, and then wrap it all up and take off. So that'll be fun. The show's growing, of course. We're still filming all the time. I was out for like 2 or 3 weeks because I had laryngitis, which was awful. We do have some major concerns about COPPA, which I know you know all about that. So what do you know about it? What do you think about it? I'm all about protecting kids, but I am worried about content creators on YouTube.
I think it's bullshit I really don't have a YouTube presence. If I do, it's just a couple hundred people, that I do videos for. But YouTube really threw you guys under the bus with the whole COPPA ruling. And the thing is that with COPPA, they're still trying to figure out what it means. In the Senate, they're still trying to figure out what it means because COPPA was passed way before there was YouTube or anything else.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that YouTube leaving the onus on the creators is bullshit. YouTube was grown on fucking people banging fucking horses and people fucking pulling out their dick and jerking off in hotel lobbies. That's where YouTube was born from. And now we were talking about that is this TikTok app that you guys have been doing some stuff on. All the people that jerk off in hotel rooms and fucking white trash that blows their boyfriends like online at the bank, they're all posting videos on TikTok now. So
I missed those. I hadn't seen any of that.
They're all on TikTok now. So it's interesting that TikTok is blowing up the way it has.
Literally.
And what eventually I think is going to happen is some kind of non-YouTube channel is gonna or a streaming service is going to come on board, and it's going to really help the people who've got affected by COPPA, because COPPA affects 60% of the channels that I watch every day. Right. Because normally I watch like adult toy collecting, like toy reviews, adult nostalgia shows, so that's gonna all roll into being a problem for COPPA. A lot of my friends are actually stopping doing their channels.
Right.
So I hope that you guys aren't doing that.
Well, the law is extremely vague. It actually says channels that say things like fun, cool, game somehow could be interpreted as being for children.
Right.
Anything with music or color, bright and colorful, or any animation could be considered for children. Videos in which people eat candy or snacks, I don't know any channels that don't have any kind of music. And of course, everyone strives to have fun and to have colorful logos and even animated logos. And of course, a lot of people would assume almost anything about animals, unless it's extraordinarily graphically adult, could be considered for children.
Right. But the problem isn't just the law being unclear. The problem is you could mark your videos as non-child friendly, but YouTube is still going to drag that video through an algorithm. And if the algorithm flags you, you're going to have to defend, what the algorithm said about your video. So, and if you don't win that argument, that could be a $42,000 fine per video.
And then we have almost 1,000 videos published.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
that's why services like Twitch and a couple of the other streaming services are doing well because they don't have those guidelines. And if they, I mean, COPPA is a federal law regardless. So, even the other streaming services are going to have to play by those rules.
Right.
But other streaming services are not leaving the onus on their creator.
Right.
And that's where I think YouTube is going to, really scare away a lot of them.
Well,
you're only eligible for 10% ad revenue if it's child specific. Like most of the ad revenue and the ads that run on YouTube, and 90% of what the people get paid off of are these general ads.
Right.
And if your video is marked child friendly, it could only play a certain segment of those ads.
Right.
So let's say you're a YouTube channel used to making $1,000 a month. Now your ads are limited. You're probably only going to make $90 a month,
right?
Instead of $1,000. So it's a tough thing to to fall into.
Well, and here's one thing that's a challenge as well. YouTube has really kind of driven us to make family content. They don't want you swearing. They don't want you posting anything that's too racy. They don't want you. I mean, they have demonetized my tarantula breeding videos in the past, and I appealed it. And I'm just like, I mean, there's nothing inappropriate. I mean, it's tarantulas do this. They like move around, move their legs around, and they do this. It's nothing that could be considered, I mean, in my opinion, arousing in any way, or to me, I could show tarantulas breeding to a classroom of kindergartners, and I don't think any kindergartner would. I mean, they might think that they were like fighting or wrestling or something.
Yeah, but you're not going to look at the class you're not going to look back at the class and see a fucking kid in the corner jerking off to the video.
I would hope not to. Yes.
What's that?
Yeah, I said, yeah, I would hope not to.
I would, just so you know, I would be that kid. But at the end of the day, like I know that a bunch of breeder friends of mine got their snake videos demonetized because they showed snakes breeding.
Oh
and snake breed, I mean.
They hold.
It is, Yeah. So it's so fucking stupid. What I think and what I hope is that YouTube will come to its senses before January and say, listen, this is, we haven't decided which way we're going to do it, but we're not going to do it this way. We're going to throw a little bit more protection for the people that made YouTube what it was, or what it is.
Right.
Yeah. Fuck YouTube.
So it's really wild. We're living in frightening times. So we've got quite a chat going on in the feed here. So I've been kind of chatting with them. So it's I'm not sure how to say this name. Miriam, maybe Amsterdam. John Wilder, Rizwan Khan.
Oh, John Wilder. I think I interviewed his wife, Lori, down in Texas.
Cool.
Lori Wilder.
8 Legs and 4 Wheels. I know he has a tarantula channel. Nigel Dean I think he's from the UK, is on. Some of these people are from Texas. Snake Man, which is Dana Savarelli, jumped on. Callie Joe, Kevin Trappin, they're from Texas. DVL Exotics, Richard Eade, Catherine Smith, Robin Hart, Little Miss Kitten 83. Let's see. Wilson Tech is on here. The Mexican jumped on. So yeah, you guys are. Oh, Mary Cronin just got on. So
Mary Cronin, that's the she's the vice president of the local 501 animal shelter. I love my Texas people, man. I mean, Texas people, we went down to Texas, to Arlington, and we brought the whole show down there and we insulted people and we made fun of people, but the people in Texas just got it. You know, they were very cool about it and they treated us like fucking gold while we were down there. Somebody went and got us in and out. You know, it's really like it's a great place, and that's definitely going to be the retirement destination, I think, because I'm just loving New York and I hate Texas, so it's all good. What are you looking at? What, are you not paying attention?
I need a refill and my people are not taking care of me.
What's up with that, people?
What's up with that, people?
I bet it's an arm come down.
I'm trying to watch.
Big dog, what's up, man?
Not much. How you doing today?
Good, brother. How are you?
I can't complain. It's Sunday. I'm not at work.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Yeah, you and me both. Although I am working though, so it's just we did about 15 hours of recording yesterday between me, Cam, some guests that we had, and it was really it was a long fucking day, man. I mean, you just get you lose your voice like halfway through it, and I know a lot of people are saying like, "Fucking thank God, you fat fuck." You know, I can't stand talking to you anymore. But it's it's a pain in the ass. But anyway, Texas people are cool. We have fans in Russia that we just had. I have a segment on the podcast for the Snakes called "Get the Fuck Out of Here," and I got an email from a guy from Russia asking me if he could use the "Get the Fuck Out of Here" segment when he's complaining about shit breeders in Moscow. And I told him, fuck yeah, you know. So now what we did was, if you ever listen to our show, you'll know that we have the Sopranos. Every member of the Sopranos saying "Get the fuck out of here" before the segment. He didn't have that in Russia, so he's just walking around with the camera on himself, just saying, "Get the fuck out of here! Why don't you get the fuck out of here? Get the fuck out of here!" You know. And this fucking Russian guy who's from Portugal, he's just working in Russia, surprised me with the reach of the show. So I'm sure you guys have it too, like fans all over the world. This is, it's a cool thing to wake up and see that people in another country that you never met before have been listening to you for a while, Yeah,
that's fun.
About 2 weeks ago, Marita got a post from Facebook, a guy in Sweden wearing her shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Greetings from Sweden under the bottom.
Seriously, yeah. And didn't you fucking love that?
Yeah, it was awesome.
That was just great. And you should use that to advertise more shit. Like, I can't even get a fucking Deadly Tarantula Girl shirt. What's up with that? Fucking make that shit happen.
We're in the process of designing them right now. So we've got them up. Don't worry. Maybe Christmas. We'll get you one for Christmas.
It's in the works. All right, that's all I want to know. I want to. All I want to know is the little elves are hard at work at fucking the Tarantula Town, right? So.
And one thing, real quick, I want to shout out 8 Legs 4 Wheels. He's out of England, Great Britain, somewhere. Great guy. He does tarantula videos, and he's here online. Thanks for coming in and checking out the live. Really appreciate it.
And Snake Man Dana Savarelli saying hi to you.
No, that's not Dana Savarelli. That's the guy here in town.
Oh,
okay. We have his snake right now. I'm gonna do a little breeding with it, so that's pretty cool. Thanks for stopping by. Everybody that's here, thank you so much.
Yeah, you guys are awesome.
Yeah, seriously.
Get on that.
Yeah, no. People in Texas and in England, they're all good looking. Like every person that I know that breeds snakes in England is fucking good looking, like Ashley.
I do. I want to get to know these people.
Yeah. Well, I could hook you up with Ashley Forthrup, who's her dad was World's Strongest Man.
Okay.
Like, fucking cool guy. We call him the Mountain because in Game of Thrones, you know the Mountain. He looks like the Mountain. He talks like the Mountain. Yeah, and his daughter is Ashley. Ashley came to see me here in New York, and she's fucking a great breeder out there. Nicole Woodard down out in England is fucking amazing looking. She's a great artist, Daniel Murray is a great fucking breeder. Ashley's father actually has a company that makes racks, and they sell them all over England.
Oh, okay.
So they're interesting people to fucking talk to. And then in Texas, of course, I love everybody in Texas, and fucking everybody got big giant boobs in Texas. I'm like, I was my favorite place to be.
In Texas, that's what they say.
It's my favorite place to be. Plus, you know, I want to. Can I just shout out to a couple of people of my people?
Do it.
I want to shout out to JT from Reticulated.
Yep.
JT is fucking awesome. He's been a sponsor of the show.
Call, man. I've been trying to get a hold of you.
Yeah, it's been a year since he's sponsored. Chris from Sea Serpents, they're a sponsor of the show. Love Chris. Chris is fucking such a great guy. John Lehman from Morph Market, fucking top guy. And Sean Gray from the Herbs Exotic reptile shows. I fucking love all these guys, and they really kind of restored my faith in like the reptile community, because for about a year I dealt with just little assholes, like just people that, you know, they were all basement breeders that you know, didn't know how to do business, and these guys just came around and they all said, how could I be a part of the show? And you know, it's been a fun, fun ride with them, and I'm hoping they all, re-up, you know, in the coming year. So, but JT, I'm gonna get to hang out with him in Conroe.
Cool.
So I'm looking forward to that.
So, how'd you get hooked up with Sean Gray? How'd that come about?
Well, I've heard about him through Sean Bradley. And Sean Bradley was like, there's this herb show, network, and he's like, the guy, the owner of the circuit takes such good care of the vendors, right?
Okay.
I never, met a guy that took better care of the vendors, right? So I always wanted to get Sean on, and then JT was doing a herb show, and he mentioned us to Sean, and then me and Sean just hooked up on Facebook. Okay. And I said, listen, I want, I'd love for you to be a sponsor of the show, because we're looking for a show sponsor right now. Mm-hmm. Not a show sponsor for my show, but a show sponsor that does shows in the country.
At expos.
Right. So Sean was like, fuck yeah, I want to be a part of it. I heard a lot about you too. And now I'm having him on the next, the next podcast for December. Oh, cool. And then I'm going down there in January. But Sean's a great fucking guy, man. I mean, anybody who's like actually pushing the hobby forward, I'm really big fans of them. Right. So, JT is fucking pushing the hobby forward like a motherfucker. And the guy is like this classy, stoic guy that fucking, he doesn't let shit rattle him, and he's always happy. So fucking, I love the guy. And normally I hate always happy people, but I fucking hang around JT and I'm just like, life doesn't suck so much, and actually all the sponsors are like that. Chris from Sea Serpents, I could talk to him for hours about shit. John, I could talk to him, for hours about computer shit and snake shit, So basically I approach my sponsors as, if I got to be friends with them. I got to be friends with them, and I have to use this stuff. Right. And as long as I know that it's good, then I'll say, fuck yeah, come on board and sponsor it. We still are looking for a food sponsor, like a rodent supply company. And a couple of, as long as you don't compete with any other sponsors that I have on the show, then come on board. But for the sponsors that I do have, I'm not putting any of their competitors on. Now, I'll still go to shows, to like Tinley shows. Yeah. But I'm not going to record at them. I'm not going to, do anything Snakes and the Fatman related, because my deal is with Sean. So I'm just going to, do the Sean shows. But you know what? If it gets me out of New York for a fucking weekend, I would do fucking, 5 of Sean shows a year if I could,
Awesome.
So,
what's your favorite show to go to?
My favorite show, and this might surprise a lot of people, is Daytona.
Oh, okay.
But not for the show. I don't give a fuck about the show. The show is shit. Okay. There's less and less vendors at the show every year, but it gives me a chance to go down to Florida and see my friends and hang out with my friends on, at the Hilton on the boardwalk. And
This year, next year. It's almost, the year's almost over.
I mean, they're going to do it next August. And there's rumblings of it going back to Orlando, which would be a lot easier because getting a direct flight for me from Daytona, I got to spend time in that nasty ass Georgia airport, that white trash fucking airport. So I would love it if they went back to Orlando, but I don't mind doing Daytona because I get to, see people that I only see once a year.
I've never even been to the Daytona show because the last time I was there, it was in Orlando.
Yeah.
Wow.
But Daytona is fun for the show, for the after party.
Yeah.
The thing I missed, I'm bummed about it. I didn't go this year. Was I missed Ty Park? Yeah. So I didn't even know he was going to be there. But next year, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take about 10 days. I'm going to do the show. I'm going to go to Iguanaland. I'm going to, see friends. Like I love going to Gatorland down there. I love going to, the alligator parks.
Yeah.
It's just fun, so that's my favorite show. I like Tinley, but Tinley is nowhere near in Chicago. Okay. They talk about it being in Chicago.
That's the weird thing.
It's like an hour outside of Chicago. I loved the Arlington show. And the Arlington show is actually the impetus that I used to go to Conroe and get because Texas is just so much fucking fun, man. Like we had a blast that weekend, and we were there for 3 or 4 days.
You dissed me. I remember that.
Yeah, that was the show that you didn't even come up to the table.
That's not true.
Yeah, you saw us recording, and you're like, "Fuck that guy looks like a fat tattooed Jesus."
No way. I was like, that's Chris Eaton, and I walked up to the table, and you were like, "Meh." You had some blonde. Practically.
Oh man, Erin was stupid hot, right? I mean, like fucking. She's like one of my favorite people in Houston. But yeah, it's I don't know. It's just any show where there's cool people at, we could make a cool show.
Oh yeah.
And we had so much fun in Texas. But like I've done shows like this in New York and in Pennsylvania, nowhere near as cool as the people in Texas. So
what's your favorite Cosmic-Con to go to?
Oh, Comic-Con, not Cosmic.
Yeah. Oh, they call it Cosmic-Con here because it's with the UFO. So yes, I meant Comic-Con.
I would love to go there. I used to love San Diego until it became so big that you can't even walk. The New York one is nice, but I like going to these local local Comic-Cons like Island, the smaller ones where you actually have access to the artist, and the artist will, you could commission them to draw you in like a comic book character.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Those are, the best one I've been to has been in Long Island, called the CradleCon. It was called, at the Cradle of Aviation Museum. And they had all these, it was in a hangar where they had all these old warplanes.
Wow.
And they just set up comic book and toy spots in between the planes. So that was really one of my favorite ones that we went to. It's it opens up a whole lot of stuff doing something stupid like this, like I'm sure it's opened up a lot of stuff for you too that you would never have thought you'd get invited to.
Definitely. And speaking of comic book stuff, I had this guy contact me on LinkedIn, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm such a fan. I'm a comic book writer and illustrator." He's like, "I would love to make a comic about you." And we talked on the phone for like hours. Like I don't know. It sounded really awesome, and it didn't pan out. And I was really bummed because sounded like a cool guy, but he was not interested in a professional relationship with me. And I just said, "Yeah, I can't work with you." But it just, I mean, so to I can't think of the word, to I don't know, to get involved with that somehow would be super duper fun.
It really is. We're actually doing a comic book about Dakem and I. That's the plan for the new year. And it's just been so much, like, we do it weekly. We actually do
Yeah.
that show religiously weekly.
Okay.
And it's always so much. It's such an awesome way to start your week, where you just get to go have fun with your friends for 3 hours, and to get to get paid to do that is an awesome thing.
Right.
So basically all we're doing is making fun of each other for 2 hours straight.
And people love to hear that because you guys are witty.
Yeah, and we got big numbers for a show that we were not in the space at all before we started this thing. So it's really just a fun thing to do. And what I'm trying to do is develop a network of 5 or 6 different podcasts, and then make it so that the viewership and listeners is enough where I could have multiple advertisers do multiple ads, and then everybody could share in the ad revenue. Okay. So that's the goal right now. It's going to probably take a year or two to develop the way I want to do it. But that's we got a good start right now with the snake one and with this one.
Cool.
I'm going to also have a new podcast coming out in the first quarter of the new year, where it's a serious podcast, and I'm not there cursing and making dick and fart jokes. And because believe it or not, you wouldn't believe it by looking at me, but I know like a lot of successful like lawyers and fucking doctors and veterinarians and all that. And I think that people want to hear what they have to say too.
Oh, so, yeah, definitely. So what's that show going to be about? Like business?
No, it's just going to be about me bullshitting with somebody in a long form interview.
Oh, I see.
Anybody who I pick. But it's not going to be like, hey, how big's your dick? Or fucking how big's your wife's tits? It's going to be like a serious actual thing, because I know that I lose a lot of people with the language and everything else. So, but the thing is that it's hard to not do it this way.
I know where you're going. Right there.
So
yes, it's a challenge for you.
It is a challenge, yeah. So, but luckily, I have the ability to say obnoxious, stupid, rude things, but still come off as likable. Okay, so you love me.
I do. I'm just thinking about the doctor lawyer audience that's not totally crude. Like, how's that going to fly?
But the thing is that they know I'm crude.
Yeah.
So they're going to know I'm really trying hard. So they'll help me out throughout.
Okay. So you're going to be allowed a slip here and there.
I'm going to be allowed like a bullshit or a fuck that, here and there. But I'm not going to be allowed like, when was the last time you got blown? Like I'm not going to be allowed that. Okay. So
good happy medium there.
Yeah, that's right. And I figure if you could get somebody to laugh a little bit to the point of them, peeing their pants a little bit or their sides hurting a little bit.
Oh, someone said they peed in the comment feed when we were talking about something earlier. So awesome.
Who did that? Let's give him a shout out.
Who peed? Let me scroll back. Comment if you peed. If there was more than one peer, I want to know who you were. I think I peed. Robin Hart peed. And UBL Exotics was like, OMFG, I'm dying here. And then Snake Man was like, interesting channel. Nigel Dean was giving me hearts and saying, cracking me up. But then somebody was like, he went too far, I think.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Probably with the trans talk. Well,
maybe. I don't know. Let's see. I don't know. Oh, somebody was like, he reminds me of Sean Bradley. I want to see him and Sean at the same room. And
me and Sean did an interview. Me and Sean went to dinner in Daytona, and we tortured those fucking waitresses. And it was me, Sean, one of his workers, Gabriel, if you know the young kid from Texas, and Donato. And between me and Donato and fucking Sean, matter of fact, I'll tell you a funny story. Sean's in a wheelchair, right?
Of course.
So Donato brought his handicap sticker to put in the car, the rental car, right? So we pull up to the restaurant, and Sean drives there in his car, and Donato just looks at me, and he's like, I don't think I'm going to use the handicap sticker today. Okay. And I was like, yeah, probably not. He goes, I don't want to use the handicap sticker and just get out of the car as Sean's yanking himself out the car to get to the chair.
While he's lifting himself into his wheelchair. Oh my gosh.
So I said, wouldn't it be funny if we used the handicap sticker and then beat Sean to the restaurant and we took the only handicap spot? So
and then rush in and get in the handicap stall in the restroom because he's got to be.
That's
that
what
would make it really good taste. We love you, Sean, by the way.
Oh, Sean knows I fucking love him, man. Fucking I want to do a live at the Sean store. So I'm thinking about when I go to the New Orleans Herb Show.
Oh my gosh!
Weekend, do Sean because Sean is fucking funny as fuck.
Oh yeah, he is, and his store is beautiful.
Isn't it fucking so nice, right?
Oh, I know. So Sean doesn't really do anything halfway. So his Facebook page is showing the stuff that he's doing in his store, and it's like everything's over the top, incredible, beautiful stuff. So if you if you're anywhere in the area, check it out, and I'll link all of his stuff in the description box if you're watching this after. But so if you want to hear Sean and Chris together, we'll link that show too because it was really funny. Of course, I've had Sean on the show, and Chris has had Sean on the show, and he's a friend of both of ours. And interesting men with interesting personalities.
Well, a lot of people thought that Sean and I hated each other for the longest time.
Yeah, because of your shows kind of competed.
Well, yeah, and because the only reason that I started my podcast was because I was listening to bullshit, and Sean was interrupting all these breeders that I liked and cutting them off, telling his own story. And I was like, Jesus Christ, if I'm ever gonna get to hear what you guys have to say, I'm gonna have to interview him myself, and that's the whole reason that we started the show. But Sean and I have always got along. There's never been, any issues with Sean. Like I said, we do dinner, whenever we're in the same place. Sean's just a good guy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good people in this business, but there's a lot of, assholes too.
Right.
So
somebody's asking what the name of Sean's show is. So he's not podcasting anymore, but he used to have a ball python show called Ball Shit.
Right.
And he said that a lot because he thought that was really funny. He'd be like,
and the I in shit is exclamation point.
Yes.
So
yes,
that's how.
And, so Chris's podcast is called Snakes and The Fatman. And so I've been on it. Somebody said Dave Kaufman was on it, which I don't know if they were talking about your show or mine, but
on your show, yeah.
Oh, you hadn't interviewed Dave Kaufman?
No, I don't even know Dov.
So funny story about Dave Kaufman. His name is actually Dave, but being a white guy named Dave, he just really wanted to be different. And I love you, Dave. I'm not talking smack. So I think in 6th grade, he just chose to change the spelling of his name and put the phonetic mark over the A and make it a long A and remove the E. So yes,
I'm not going to call him that. Even when
you prefer to call him Dov Kaufman.
Yeah, I can't call him Dov without just laughing at that. I mean, it's just
perfect.
White privilege. Fucking change my name. Fucking white. Dave, your name is Dave. That's fine. Dave is an awesome name. Okay, you don't have to fucking change it. I'm not gonna change my name to spell it with a fucking XRIS.
Christopher.
Chris.
I think you should. No, I think you should just change your name to I don't know, something black. That would be interesting.
I would change my name to just a couple of things. Like Chewbacca, I would totally fucking change.
I can see that.
Yeah, I would totally do that. That's really it.
Okay. Chewbacca. I'm going to remember that.
I'm fine with that.
Next time I text you too early in the morning, I'm going to be like, hey, Chewie, you up?
And I'll always be like, I wasn't before this text, but I am now. Bam, chicka, bow now. Chicka, chicka, bow now.
I know you love me because you text me back early in the morning and you're like, why the fuck are you awake?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's even later than it is here.
I know.
And then you're normally like, oh, we just got in from the zoo. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? It's 4 a.m, man. You know?
Yep.
So that's crazy. I mean, what do you average? Like 3 hours sleep a night?
Yeah, sometimes more. It used to be when we were younger, we would push a lot harder. Now sometimes we're just like, can't.
Right.
And we like, you know.
Please. I feel that every morning. I sit on the side of my bed for 20 minutes every morning, just wondering what's going to be the first thing in my body to crack when my feet hit the floor. And sometimes it's someplace weird, like my shoulder or my eyebrow. You know, like it's horrid. It's a horrible way to live your life,
your
man.
Eyebrow. Well, that's a heavy weight that your eyebrow is carrying. That's
no. I seriously, it's on like fucking, and it's on this horrendous head. You know? like if you were to chop off both our heads, I guarantee my head would weigh 12 pounds heavier than yours.
I believe that. Your head is like when I take a picture with my English Mastiff, his head is like, you know, here, and then mine's like, so yeah, that's kind of, I wonder if you're
why we use the alien heads on the other podcast, because that's the size of our heads, and it doesn't make no difference.
That brings me to an interesting question. So, in your opinion, what should my logo look like?
You want me to say this like on camera, like just on a YouTube live?
As long as it's not going to cause people to immediately commit suicide or drive off the road.
It's nothing mean. I would do a brand change from Deadly Tarantula Girl to Deadly Reptile Girl or something like that, because Tarantula limits you as far as the people who are going, you know, like if a guy is breeding corn snakes, and he sees a video by somebody named, like, just if he sees the name Deadly Tarantula Girl, he might click on it because he's a snake breeder, so they're all fucking losers and fucking lonely, and they want to look at fucking other women. But if he's, you know, like a serious guy, he's not going to click on Deadly Tarantula Girl because he's raising. What does that have to do with corn snakes?
Right.
You know? And I think that, but if he put on, if you put Deadly Reptile Girl and he was breeding corn snakes, then he would still look at you.
Right.
I just want to see something funny. See if I can read this on here. Right. So my black friend, my one black friend, just wrote, Dakeem Duncan. He said, totally watching you with DTG on YouTube. You don't belong on the same screen with her.
Well, I like to think that I'm like maybe high average, and you make me look better.
Yeah, that's what I do. That's my job, you know. But it's all right, because my fucking co-host on that show is a fucking ugly black motherfucker. So how do you like that, Duncan? Fuck you.
I actually think that you're really sexy, Chris, because you're so funny, and that you're pretty hot too, and you're smart.
I have an extremely average size dick.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, just average. It's a white.
But your brain is massive.
My brain is massive. My brain is massive. But you know, that's what I realized, that you have to, like, when you're on the lower side of average. I realized my first trip to Hollywood, you have to play to your strengths, because in Hollywood, everybody is gorgeous.
Right.
So like everybody thinks Marita is gorgeous. Let's say that I walked into a bar with 50 Maritas. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I have to play to my strength and get them to laugh, or fucking, you know, let them know that I'm fairly intelligent. I also fucking have a good job too. So fucking
true.
You know, just fucking let that inbox fill up, baby.
So you have a nice, big, fat wallet.
Every now and then I do. Every now and then I do. But with this dumb hobby, you're always fucking out of money.
True.
You know, you're always fucking out of money because you think the powers that be in the reptile community have it, you know, that they make it look like if you just buy this $5,000 snake, you'll be able to breed it and make a bunch of $5,000 snakes.
Right.
That is so not the case at all. And I know that a lot of the bigger people like hate when I say shit like this, but fucking, I think that the people have to know if you're going to breed this $5,000 snake to a $400 snake, you're going to get $600 snakes at best.
Right.
Probably $100 wholesale snakes.
Not to mention your hatchling, your $5,000 hatchling. What's it going to be worth in 2 years?
Right.
And but that's all a healthy part of the market. We're not saying like don't buy snakes or don't breed snakes.
Right. Right.
But be realistic.
Not only that, I'm saying if you're gonna buy high end, buy from the reputable high end people.
Yes.
You know, fucking don't buy from the fucking dickhead in Alabama who's breeding snakes in his mom's basement. Okay.
Well, yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Some of those guys are good, but also choose your genetics wisely because, like you said, if you put all your eggs in one basket, I mean, you need like at least a decent pairing. I mean, unless you're just doing it because you've never bred a snake before and it would be exciting to see eggs and have hatchlings. Right. Because I'll be honest with you, I still find a thrill in that. If I had, you're going to kick me for this, if I had a normal ball python that laid a clutch, I'm dumb enough. I'm still excited. Why? Because I think the process is cool. I'm an animal lover. I want to see baby snakes hatch out of there.
Why? Why?
Because I just enjoy the process.
Even
if I had to give all those snakes away as pets, I don't care. I still enjoy
number
it.
One, you probably would. But number two, I'd say all of those snakes are sentenced to death after you hatch them. Because fucking, even if you sell those snakes for $20 a piece, let's say, right? Mm-hmm. You know what kind of care is given to an animal that you only pay $20 for.
I think that's a good general rule. But I also know that there are a lot of kids out there that snake would be their everything. They'd watch cartoons with it. They would take pictures with it. They would, There's a lot and there's those people are out there, and I agree with you. I think that is a good generality, but obviously I wouldn't just give those snakes to anybody because some people would, they would be exploited or neglected for sure.
Right, but then you have to hold on to them.
I know.
You have to feed them. You have to take care of them. You have to provide space for them. Like that's one of the main reasons that we downscaled.
I know.
Because we were getting too much byproduct that we had to wholesale. And it sucks. I know it sucks to just breed an animal and call it byproduct, but that's really the fact of what it is.
Well, yeah, from a marketing standpoint, it is. So tell us about your process that you and your partners obviously must have agreed on basically just focusing on high end. Tell us about how that went.
Yeah.
I think more people should be doing that.
Yeah, we kept strangers, clowns, rain jeans, which is our version of not our version, but it's actually a different gene than like the Phantom from Ralph. And people are doing some nice stuff with Reigns now who did, have them at the beginning. And really anything recessive, we kept. Mm-hmm. Anything like yellow belly, anything we got rid of. Anything
and why?
And cheap. What's that?
Tell us why.
Because they're useless. They're worthless things.
Because there's too many?
Well, too many, and when a person buys them, like if they're females, they're okay for a beginner, okay? If they're males, fuck it. Those things aren't going to be sold. And if you wholesale them, even the wholesaler is going to wholesale them to somebody else. because males are fucking useless, right? So if you get the female, if you're lucky enough to get females, we would you should keep those. But we have been doing it long enough to have a bunch of high-end females. So like we don't need a enchy yellow belly head clown female when we already have an enchy yellow belly clown. So that's the way that you really should do it, is just constantly upgrade to the point where it's not going to take you 3 generations to make what you want to make.
Right.
Because that's like a 6-year process.
Yeah.
It's a long process with ball pythons. I mean, you can't even breed the females till they're 2.5.
Right.
And, people are paying, this insane money for babies that they can't do anything with for 2 years, So it's, if you're going to do that, buy what you want instead of, don't try and make what you want, because you making what you want isn't going to happen for minimum 2 years. Mm-hmm. And then you breeding what you want isn't going to happen till minimum, 2 more years.
Right.
So you got a 4-year process now that you have to go through, where that snake is essentially useless because it's not making you any money. If you want to keep the snake as a pet, fine, blah, 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 do that. But there's nothing wrong with having a hobby that you want to make money at. And people always shit on that. And people say, I don't do this for the money. Shut the fuck up. Yes, you do. If you don't do it for the money, then give away your fucking stranger clown. Okay? You fucking degenerate jerk off. Of course you want to fucking make money. People are so fucking, it's ridiculous. There's such hypocrites in this business.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I feel like there's a real taboo about people admitting that they're making money off of animal, because it could definitely be considered inhumane or greedy or whatever. But when you cross the line of when you get into the animal breeding business, the animal is the product. And that's difficult because it's also a living animal. But the truth is, if you have 100 snakes and you're not making any money, then you must have a really good profession that you can just support that business, because it's become a business at that point. I mean, if you just have all the money in the world just to throw into it just for no reason other than the love, that's cool. Most people aren't in that position. So I feel like if you're wise, you probably start off with the goal of, yeah, I have these 5 snakes. I'm going to try to make X amount of money so I can at least feed them and maintain them. I mean, that should be a minimum goal, and that's expensive.
Right.
Really expensive.
It really gets expensive when you have 700 of them, and we're lucky enough, all 3 of us at least, to have jobs where we don't have to do this.
Right.
That's why when we were coming back from an 8-hour, 10-hour workday and going straight to the shop and having to work 6 more hours, you're like, fuck, man, this is like, I have no time for myself.
Right.
And Donato was the first one out. He was the smart one. He had pulled out about 4 years ago. And this was during the time where we were like, we have to go to every local show. We have to fucking sell. And Donato was just like, listen, we're going to go to a local show and make $800. He's like, I could just make that at my day job and be able to spend Sunday with my family instead of white trash fucking motherfuckers that are going to try and Jew me down from 800 to 200.
Right.
Because I just don't want to do anything, any of that. And Donato started concentrating on the high end stuff quicker than we did. And 3 or 4 years later, we kind of followed suit, and we don't have a big giant shop anymore, but we have enough animals where we're actually making the same amount of money.
Wow.
With the with the higher end animals. Yes, it takes a little bit longer to sell a $5,000 snake than it does a $300 snake, but as that time is going, that snake is getting bigger, and that's going to be more valuable to people that want it. So, that's the way we kind of do things now. I don't have the dream of walking into a a shop with, you know, 100 freedom breeders and 300 sea serpent racks. For the first time the other day, I opened up one of my racks and I was like, oh, I think I'm going to take a picture of this snake. Like, just because I have it and it looked good, you know, I haven't wanted to do that in the last year and a half, you know, with the shop, because you just have 700 tubs that you got to open, check, you know, and then close and then open, because it takes 3 hours just to open up every cage, you know? So, that's the way I kind of feel like it. If you're gonna make money at it, fucking make money at it and be proud of that. Don't be like fucking, you know, you know, I don't do this for the money. Shut the fuck up. Nobody believes that. You know?
Well, I don't think there's any shame in it. I think people, I mean, obviously I have a passion for the animals, or frankly, I wouldn't be doing it at all, because I just don't have a good enough business head to be turning enough of a profit that I would want this to be my life, except that I just love it. I'm full enough that I still get happy every day when I see those animals. And, you know, that it does drive me. And I'm fortunate that my husband is the same way, because otherwise, frankly, we wouldn't be together. I can't, this can't be what you live and breathe if you don't love it. It's like being with a bodybuilder. If you're not willing to go to the gym and focus on meal prep and sleeping and, you know, all that stuff, you're either going to end up being cut out of that person's life, or you're going to sabotage their success.
Right.
And so,
exactly.
you know, you can't body forever. Go ahead.
Well, JD is with you in the fucking zoo for hours at a time. I know, because I talk to you guys while you're, you know, doing that shit. That's insane, man. I mean, you're probably one of the most awake people that I know, because fucking I could call you at 2:30 in the morning and it would be, you know, midnight by you, and you're still in the fucking rat room or you're in the zoo. It's a lot of fucking work, man.
Yeah,
so
it is.
It's way more than I want to, you know, that I would do for it.
Well, it's not, a lot of people think that it's very glamorous, and I portray it in the most glamorous way that I can, because that's marketable. For the most part, it's not. I mean, a lot of times I'm all scratched up right now from, you know, bathing a couple of pissed off Nile monitors last night, and, you know, cleaning all the enclosures that are piled up in our living room because we're out of room elsewhere. And I love that. Most women would not want to come in and see an Aldabra tortoise and a Nile monitor and iguanas and retics, and that's what I love to see. If we had all the money in the world, I still would want some animals in our house that I could look at and pop a tank open, which I'm in the zoo every single day, but I like having animals all around me. It's what I love. And I am fortunate and blessed enough that I'm able to also, don't let him get you. So yeah, this is, I mean, he's not a friendly guy and he'll rip the shit out of you, but that's a beautiful animal right there. Yep. And he's mad. Nile monitors are not known for their friendliness, but I think that they're awesome. And, you know, you just got me again. What are you going
to? I used to have one that scratched the shit out of me and then would tail whip me.
Oh, like yeah.
And the tail whip hurts more than the scratch. You know?
Yeah. So we have a big, our biggest monitor, which he's not that big, but he's Salvatore, the Asian water monitor. And I mean, he's just cool. We took him to the school for the art show and we were on the front page of the newspaper. We took him and a berm and a boa and a sugar glider and a common snapper. And I mean, to me, I'm blessed enough that I get to incorporate my business with my work at the school, because my administrators are smart enough to know that they should be capitalizing on that if I'm willing to offer it. It just gives the kids exposure to something else interesting. Kids that don't want to go to any other class want to come to my class because of, you know, they want to water the geckos or whatever it is.
Yeah, see, that's what I miss about living in a small town, where here you can't do that shit at all. Like
Yeah.
I can't even own a tortoise right now because I don't really have a yard or anything, you know. But in LA, when I first moved there, the girl that I was with for about 9 years, we had about 8 or 9 berms that we would just let roam the house, and they were all over 12 feet apiece.
Wow.
And we'd let out a bunch of iguanas. We'd have skinks that we'd cook breakfast for every morning. It was, if you don't love them, then that'll drive you crazy.
Oh yeah.
You know, so, and I'm well aware of that. I mean, when we kept the horse in the house in Colorado, I was like a little bit like, all right, aren't we, didn't we say everything we had to say with this horse outside? Like, we don't have to bring the horse inside, do we? So that's where I kind of drew the line. But having the reptiles just roam around, I have no problem with that at all.
Yeah.
But I will say the worst bite that I got in my life was from a Salvador monitor, water monitor. And, and motherfucker bit me right here. And I had to throw it off me because I was in, and there was blood on the walls. Like,
oh my God.
You can't just Windex blood off the walls. I mean, my fucking house looked like a CSI crime scene. It was fucking like so bad. So I finally just said, all right, his name was Bob. And fucking, I was like, Bob is in the cage full time from now on, so that's what you get. Right.
Yep.
So
we have certain animals that hate hooks. And if you go at them with a hook, they'll behave really aggressively. But if you don't, they're actually usually okay. I don't give my giant retics that opportunity usually to just say hello, because there's some pretty nasty bitches for the most part, to be perfectly frank. Those aren't animals that we play with. Those are animals that we handle when their cages need changing.
Right.
And I love them. They're incredible. They're probably my favorite reptile that we have. I don't know though. I mean, I love so much stuff, but
I miss having the big reptiles. If you're ever in California, go and hit up Prehistoric Pets. Jay Brewer is there, and I've known Jay for years, but I've known Jay so long that I was around when Prehistoric Pets was a shithole and nobody would buy because their animals were filthy and everything else. But he turned it around. And
oh yeah, he did. And Jay has an interesting story. And he was kind of like Sean in that he was kind of a teen on his own. Not that Sean wasn't cared for, but that, he started himself. He started with little stuff and made a little bit of money off that and grew and grew. So I have mad respect for Jay Brewer. And obviously he's grown into an empire. And I know that some people don't like that he kind of maybe sensationalizes, but I feel like overall he presents the animals in a very positive aspect.
100% he does. 100% he does.
Yeah.
He's actually he's a good guy. He I'll admit I don't love the guy. We've had our issues in the past, but he's definitely doing more to benefit the community than these assholes who just complain, about every little thing about, how to handle a snake. And like there was a dickhead on Facebook last year that had a picture of his ball python on a snowman. Like fucking, during the winter, just.
Oh my gosh.
And he was like, great picture opportunity or whatever. And he got lambasted on fucking, with comments. But fucking, there's people like that. Like there's this shit, FBI inquiry.
Oh, the group.
That fucking face full of these fucking retards that have been doing it for 2 weeks and they think they know it all.
Right.
It's like that's the worst thing about the reptile hobby is that people who have the ability to go on YouTube and learn everything about an animal just don't do it. Or if they do it, when they're actually keeping the animal, they've had it for a month and they're a self-proclaimed expert.
Right.
So fuck those people too.
Well, or the guy that has a leopard gecko, a parakeet, and a ball python. So like, oh, I have a zoo at my house and I know everything. Like, well, cool. That's cool. I love that. But I don't know. I just self-proclaimed experts. Yeah, I don't know. And I just love the people who tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know everything. That is for damn sure. But I also know what decades of experience has taught me working with the animals every single day. And I also have a formal education. So, I mean, I love it when people come on and say, oh, she's a dumb bitch. No, I'm not.
Yeah.
You may not
throw your tits off and look good. Yeah. And I don't necessarily disagree with that, but you are one of the rare hot chicks with big boobs that know what you're talking about.
Well, but I'm not dumb just because I'm not ugly.
No. Calm it down. I get that. All right. You're at a 9. I need you at about a 3. Okay. So just calm it down a little bit. But yes, there's so many assholes out there that will troll somebody just to say negative stuff about them. Believe me, people tell me how much I suck every day. Okay. And the thing is, I have enough people that think I don't suck where it overrides those people. You know, well, fuck them. So, and I always ask people, oh, okay, so then why don't you start up a show and, do that?
Thank you. You and your one subscriber agree with you. Good going.
I love these dickhead ball python people who are, doing their live videos and they max out at 135 views and they think that they're the shit. I fucking can't even stand it. It's so ridiculous. And I don't know. I just get fucking tired of it. That's why I started doing other podcasts, to be honest with you.
Right. Well, so I don't know if I've probably told you this story before. So about once a year, I Google my name just to like kind of see where our reach is going. And we always see like stolen footage and weird, like, I don't know if they're like bot accounts, but people like make social media accounts in my name and like steal my pictures. And it's just weird, but interesting. Okay, whatever. So a year or two ago, it's probably been a few years, arachnoboards. Okay. It's like the fauna classifieds for, well, not really. It's more of a forum. Anyway, before social media, that place was where you would go. Apparently, I'm universally hated on arachnoboards. There was this insane feed about how I'm a dumb whore. I do porno, or I should do porno. All this crazy stuff. Everybody chimed in, and some of them were YouTubers, some of them were breeders, most of them were no one. And, they just like, oh, I hate her. Oh, she's stupid. Oh, this. And a few of them had like legitimate complaints, like things that I do that they would do differently. Like they didn't like my enclosures or whatever. I respect that 100%. I do things my way. You do things your way. Don't say my way is wrong because it's effective. It works. My animals breed. To me, that tells me that they're in a relatively healthy and comfortable state. So those people who want to disagree with my husbandry, I respect your opinion. Does that mean I'm dumb for not doing it your way? No, obviously I'm successful. But it just went on and on and on. And most people were saying something either totally irrelevant or, they were just like making stuff up, like that I do porn and stuff. And I'm like, no, if you wish I do porn, say that. But no, I don't. So
let me just make this announcement. If Marita was in porn, I would have found it already. Okay. I would have found it. I have done deep dives into Marita. Okay.
But here was the point. So I had people get up and about it. Not one person got on and said, who are you guys talking about? I don't know who that is.
Right.
They all know who I was. So to me, that was a sign of success. Not one of them went, Deadly Tarantula Girl, I've never heard of her, or I know nothing about her. Inform me. So to me, I thought, okay, cool. So, oh, and they said, oh, she thinks she's a god. She thinks she's a superstar. And I'm like, obviously, my reach is great. If I don't feel that I come across as pompous or narcissistic, so I thought that that was hilarious. But as I said, not a single person jumped on and said, who?
Right. Well, that's
So-
what Kevin McCurley told me. He's like, if people are talking about you, then it doesn't matter what they're saying. Just the fact that people are talking to you knows, means that those, 1,500 people in that thread fucking know who you are, so that's what you got to do. So
one of my peeves is when people say I care for animals poorly, or that I'm a hoarder or an animal abuser. Snakes don't care if they live in racks, in my opinion, and neither do tarantulas. And I've tried to explain to people that a tarantula does not want a large, wide open area. That would be torture. That would be the most, they would die. They would live a shorter lifespan because, that would be like, it's dumb. I don't even need to explain it.
Well, people attribute what they want as what the animal wants.
People love to anthropomorphize tarantulas and snakes, say, well, I would want to wear a diamond necklace, so our animals should be, wearing the prettiest sweaters.
Yeah. Well, I've had the same argument with people about snakes and racks, and I'm like, in the wild, these dumb animals would actually crawl into a hole in a rock, and live there for its life until it outgrows it, and then go find another hole or
another tiny area that they're safe in.
Right. It's so stupid. It's people who don't know what they're talking about are kind of out themselves relatively quickly in this business.
Well, I've had people cuss me out and say I need to burn in hell for misting my tarantulas. And I'm like, do you know what happens in the wild? Rain.
Right. Rain
occurs in the wild. And do you know what would happen without rain? Death.
Right. Oh, you're really out of control right now, aren't you?
Sorry. I wig out when people say I'm an animal abuser. That's my one peeve. If people want to say I'm dumb or ugly or fat or I have ugly brown skin, I don't care. But when they say I mistreat animals, they say it. I'm a chinkor and, all those other wonderful things.
No, I get it. I totally get it. It is what it is. Out of control.
I know. Okay, so speaking of things that piss me off, I have these beautiful pythons, okay? So they're retics. Both of their parents are Sulawesi, the island, blah, blah, blah. Many of them have a yellowy head or a distinct rope-type pattern on their back. They're really beautiful. And the largest retic in captivity is the Sulawesi. So they are known for getting big, not being the friendliest. But if you're a retic person and you don't want a dwarf retic, to me, a Sula is the way to go. So the breeder is somebody who wants to stay underground. He's only doing it part-time. And he said, would you take these animals for me and, sell them? He said, my only caveat is I don't want to be involved at all because people are stupid and I don't even want to hear it. I don't want to deal with them. So I've got these retic experts who are like, that's not a Sula, blah, blah, blah. I can tell because it doesn't have an X under its belly or a label that says bred in Sulawesi. And I'm just like, okay, understand that all animals are unique. Some of them have a very distinct rope-like pattern. Some of them only have a partial rope-like pattern. Some of them don't look very rope-like at all. Just the same as there being very white people in Africa. Are most of the people in Africa dark-skinned? Yes, they are, but not everyone. Oh my gosh, it has been every dork in the hobby has come out and said, oh, and then they want me to prove it. Oh, prove it. Well, no, I won't. I know what I have. The breeder wants to remain out of this.
Right.
No, you cannot know who the breeder is. No, you cannot see who the parents are. Now,
here's the thing. You're arguing with idiots right off the bat.
Well, yeah.
Snakes are polymorphic, meaning that you could breed and get an enchy yellow belly pinstripe and have 5 other enchy yellow belly pinstripes that look completely different.
Right.
Okay. So carrying the same fucking genes, but you still have. So somebody will say, "Oh, this one looks different. There has to be another gene at play here." And look, you fucking dickhead motherfucker who fucking spent $50 on a snake, and you want to think that it's something more than what you paid for.
Right.
So you're going to say it's another gene. There are people out there that are dumb enough to believe you, but people like us know that the fucking snake, that the fact of the matter is the snake is polymorphic, and it's the exact same as the 4 other brothers.
Right.
So fuck those people. Those people shouldn't be having snakes anyway.
Yeah.
And you can usually call them out, by saying, "Oh, send me a picture of your enclosures, and we'll, and I'll send you who the breeder is." And then you could just say,
"Go ahead."
No, after they say send you pictures, just say the breeder is Joe McKinnon. Just make a name up, fucking
Chris Egden.
And when they say who's that, make them feel like an idiot for never hearing about this made up name. They're like, what? How could you breed retics and never heard of fucking Joe McKinnon, man?
Right.
Fuck these people. The cold hard fact of it is that 80% of the reptile industry in general is fucking white trash trailer living fucking jerk offs. And we make a living off the 20% that aren't.
Right.
And the 20% that are good, good breeders and know what they're doing. And
Well, and to be clear, the people who have emailed me and they're like, "Hey, I'm not sure about the lineage I send them pictures of the parents."
Right.
But these dorks that are online and they just want to, I'm just like, I'll respond to them if it's a legitimate question. But if they're just going to blow me out of the water and, oh my God, it was on one retic Facebook group, of course. I freaking wiped the floor with those idiots. Mm-hmm. And I mean, there were a couple guys that came back on. People were laughing and stuff. Other people were up in arms and trying to get on the mean bandwagon and tear me down. And I just took care of it. But a couple of them were like, that was pretty badass. Like, you obviously know more than they do, so don't worry about it, which I don't. Right. It is hurting our sales to some point. But worst case scenario, I have a bunch of amazing pythons and I need to build some new enclosures.
There's, for instance, I think that Anya and Matt Littlefield, for instance, are great breeders. Not a lot of people have heard of them. Not as many people have heard of them as, Justin or fucking Ozzy. But they're great breeders that are up and coming breeders, right? For every one Anya and Matthew Littlefield, there's 20,000 idiots in this fucking business that will, think they know more than you, try and, downplay what you're doing. Just stop fucking listening to those idiots, because those idiots are never going to be able to afford a snake that you produce anyway.
Seriously. So,
so why even waste your time?
That's part of your business.
No, fuck that. Fucking, I have a stranger up for sale right now, right? And the stranger's expensive, obviously it's people ask me the price and I tell them, and they're like, "Oh, that's a premium price you want for that." And I'm like, "What's the most expensive snake that you have?" And they tell me like a fucking $1,000 clown. And I'm like, dude, I started just answering people back when they say, "What's the price on that stranger?" if I don't know their name,
Yeah.
I just back you can't afford it, and I just fucking move on with my fucking day. Because fuck these people, you know, these time wasting tire kicker fucks, you know.
Right.
If you're gonna invest $20,000 or $10,000 into your snake business, then we're the type of breeders that you ask questions to.
Right.
If you're gonna invest $500 into multiple snakes, we're not the breeder that's gonna sell you $100 snake.
Right.
You know, so just go away, you time wasting, tire fucking kicking dirtbag.
Well, I also have some issue with the people who want to see pictures from every angle. They want to know how many grams it weighs, blah, blah, blah. And then they don't buy it.
Yeah. Oh,
And
that's
it's like, it's a little frustrating. We have a friend who he is a window shopper. He's a looky-loo, and he wants to call the breeder and ask them, oh man, well, what are you going to do with that next? And well, how big is it right now? And well, can I see pictures of it? And he won't buy it.
right.
And I don't contact people. Oh, can you, oh, you know that guy? No, I won't.
Right.
I always tell him, get the money together and I'll get you in contact with them.
There's this misconception.
Never.
Yeah, there's a misconception in this business where you don't have to buy into it. But the fact of the matter is, you have to pay to play in this business. And if you want something expensive, you're not going to Jew the guy down 90%, you know, and fucking get the snake. It'll never happen. Could you imagine Ozzy asking $10,000 for a snake and one of these morons saying, will you accept 1,200? You know, like, get the fuck out of here. So that's just the way it is, though. And I don't send multiple pictures anymore. I'm like, I have 3 pictures in the ad already. That's the current weight. You know, I will weigh the snake and update the weight, which I haven't done on a stranger in like fucking 2 months. But I will do that if someone calls and asks. But other than that, fuck these people, really. I mean, and then I had a motherfucker ask me for a 64-month fucking payment plan on the stranger.
Oh my gosh.
He wanted to pay like fucking $200 a month for the next 3 years. And I was like, I'm sorry, you're confusing me with fucking a car loan. Okay? Like, go fuck yourself, you idiot. So
wow.
And the problem is, other people with the gene are offering that to people. That's how desperate people are for sales.
Wow.
You know? And my worst case scenario is, in 2 years I'll have another female stranger to breed. You know, so I'll keep it. That's my worst case scenario.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. Well, and you know, it's interesting, these people that want you to hold stuff, or they want to make these payment plans, and so what? They want to take the snake and then forget about making the payments, or they want you to raise it up and feed it and house it for the. I mean, it's like, okay, you do realize raising this animal takes electricity, water, labor, feed, space, time.
Of course. Everything. Fuck these people. That's why I'm saying low-end people, and I don't want to, you know, discount all the low-end people, because I'm sure I have a lot of like true hobbyists that listen to me, just because you know they're never going to buy a stranger, but they enjoy the snake talk, right?
Yeah.
I don't mean them. I mean these low fucking end, never spent more than $1,000 on an animal, people that are claiming to be experts and haven't done shit. Fuck all you guys. Really, I mean, we don't want you listening to us or watching us. Or, you know, it's like you're a pain in the ass, man. And you do nothing but contribute to my anger every day.
Well, what bugs me, and I'm all about the little guy and the big guy. What bugs me is the people who criticize, oh, well, you have a shitty camera. And I'm like, I'm like, all right, cool. There's a little face and a logo. I'm going to click on your channel. And if you're Casey Neistat and I'm like, can you teach me? You know, like, cool. Like, this is what I'm using now. Like, what would you recommend? But if you're some dweeb with one video of, you know, your dog pooping on the carpet, like, really? Yeah. Like, why did you
shower your iPhone 3? Yeah.
Yeah, like, why did you spend your time criticizing my channel when, first of all, that video is 3 years old? I've upgraded cameras twice since then because, you know, I'm like, man, that was an awesome video, but the footage could have been better.
Right. Right.
I don't know.
Assholes. But
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, you have to learn how to identify the assholes quicker than having to engage with them first. Because
Well, so I don't. I look at their channels, and of course, if it's no one, which a lot of times it is, I usually I'll leave a comment up unless it's like I would consider it to be offensive to someone else. Like if it's just like a nasty like racist comment, then I take it down because I care about my fan base and I don't want them to be offended. But I mean, for the most part, I just don't respond at all to those people, and I'm just like, hey, you're watching. Like it was so awful that you watched the whole video and then probably, you know, watched another one. Like that doesn't hurt my feelings.
Can we pause for a minute?
Yeah, let's do. I have to pee. What about you?
Yeah, I gotta take
All
a
right. So everyone enjoy the not music. Chris and I will return in 2 minutes.
Awesome.
Okay, you should probably get on here and show that Simba.
So Mama has to use the restroom right now. This is a Sulawesi, pure Sulawesi, low-cal. And they say that you can tell, most people will tell you that they can tell by the pattern on the top of the snake, looking like that rope pattern, which the snake has. But what she didn't say through all that was because this guy, and I don't even know if I can find his comments, this guy got on and decided that he wanted to challenge her and say, all right, send me pictures of the adults and let me have my friends look at it, and we'll talk, and then we'll decide whether it's a Sulawesi or not. What I'm hoping to do is actually do a live forum and say, let's go on live and talk about it. So you get a couple people, we'll get a couple people. I don't know how many people can come in on StreamYard, and let's talk about this live. So I would like to hear what you guys think about that. As far as would you be interested in watching something like that, where there's an open discussion on as to whether this is actually a Sulawesi retic, which it is, pure, not hybridized with another locale, which a retic's a retic in reality, but there are purists that like locale specific animals, which we like a few different animals that are locale specific. Would you be interested and would you watch that if we decide to do it and go live and talk about it? There's a lot of people that are keeping retics, and like she said, this retic is not for everybody because it is one of the largest species of retic in the world. The one in the world record right now is a Sulawesi. So I was just telling everybody that what I'm hoping to do, because this has pissed me off so much, I actually want to do a live forum with this guy. If you'll accept it, you let him bring one person in, we'll bring one person in, and we'll talk about his opinions on whether this is an actual true locale Sulawesi. And I think that'd be an interesting, and we're not looking to attack the guy. We just want to.
I think that would be a great idea to call people out and say, okay, let's argue this on air, and you tell me why you feel that this is not what what we're saying that it is. And you guys aren't the aggressive types. It would be different if I'm like, yeah, come on the fucking show and talk, but you guys are more like, nice people. I mean, the guy should do that. What's his name?
What's that?
What's his name?
Let me see if I can get into it. Mama knows how to navigate YouTube better than I do. So somewhere we've got one of his comments held. When Mama gets back over here, is it under history?
No. So go to
yams right in the camera. Right in the camera.
Where?
No, just kidding. So maybe open another window.
Okay.
And then I don't know if we can get to our studio from while we're already in.
I think
So
we can.
go to the icon, and then go to YouTube Studio, and then comments.
So
And then,
this comment
it's
has been
held.
held for review, not for any particular reason other than we're looking how to address this. Okay, this is JK Reptiles. I'm not sure who it is. This was 1 week ago. He said, I am sorry, but they are definitely not 100% pure Sulawesi. You can absolutely tell the difference between a Sulawesi and a different locality. Same as you can ID a Jampia, Kalatoa, Karampa, and other localities. This guy says, I run one of the largest retic pages in the country and have studied retics extensively for over half my life. I also have friends all over the world, Sulawesi included, who are extremely knowledgeable about retics in the localities. Would you be willing to post photos of both parents and the offspring publicly so we can have an adult discussion about these animals? And our answer to him is, let's go live and talk about this in real life between each other, and let's see what you have to say.
Now let me ask you something. Can you guys get more than one person on?
I think that it's StreamYard said a maximum of 4 or 5 people.
Okay. What I would do, honestly, because Marita has a big enough name, email Bob Clark. Say, will you get in on the discussion?
Yeah.
Ain't nobody knows more about retics than Bob Clark, you know. So fucking get him on, and he'll have heard of Marita. Believe me, he knows who I am, so I know he knows Marita. You know, so.
Him multiple times.
Yeah, we've actually got to talk to him at shows. He's a really cool guy.
Oh, yeah. He gave me the necklace.
You ready to sit down?
Almost.
Mom is still not ready to sit down. But yeah, if he's not able to do it, we will find somebody that we consider an authority on retics.
Well, what about Jay?
Yeah,
maybe. Yeah. So what we'll do is we'll start reaching out to these people, and that's why we haven't posted a reply back to this guy or talked about it, because we want to try to do this right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Bye, everyone.
Yeah. So, somebody's saying Garrett Hurdle. Yeah.
Oh, Garrett. Yeah.
Garrett would be good. Somebody's saying, yeah. So, yeah, Garrett Hurdle would be good. Bob would be good. Jay would be good. Yeah, and I'm all about, okay, because I do so many species, I certainly don't know as much about retics as some guys who only do retics. But I do know the animals that I work with. I certainly do know those. Right. And I know, I feel like I'm at a disadvantage against a lot of people who focus on one thing, that I may not be as expert as they are in that one species. And I have no problem with that. I love learning from other people, but I also I also know what I know. So I don't know. It's kind of a double-edged sword.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily, worry about that, because you're going into this fully knowing that you could be wrong.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, then what difference does it make, even if this guy's right? You don't lose face, so I would just go, okay, if you want to argue your argument with the best retic guy in the country,
right,
knock yourself out. Right. I don't really know any of that whole locale fucking specific shit. I don't know what on green trees. I don't know what on retics. Yeah. A good guy that I don't know how many retics he works with, but Forrest Fanning out in Indiana.
Somebody saying Kevin McCurley, but Kevin won't talk to me. I don't know why. If he just doesn't know who I am, or if he thinks I'm.
You got to go through his people.
I know. Well, I've interviewed Rob, but who's cool as hell.
Mm-hmm. Rob is cool as hell. Rob is the one that got me to Kevin, but I had met Kevin a couple of times,
right?
Prior to it.
By the way, I'm not talking crap about Kevin, and I actually want to thank him for all the work that he's done going to the legislature, basically advocating on behalf of true keepers because of all the BS laws that they're trying to put in. And so good for you, Kevin. You're awesome.
Yeah, no, Kevin is awesome. Kevin did like my third or fourth show. And then Kevin also did that Goomba Reptiles or whatever that where he was him and Rob were doing the Italian New York Boston thing.
Oh, that's funny.
Pretty funny too. But yeah, Kevin's a good guy to go to. I don't know a lot of berm breeders, but Cusco does some berms too, right? Or some retics, yeah.
I don't know if he works with berms. Retics, some, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and he knows he's kind of like me in that he kind of keeps diverse groups, so he knows, his knowledge is not as specialized as others, but I think he knows a lot, and I think his dad even kept reptiles when he was growing up, so it's not like he just started it a couple years ago. You know what I mean?
What's this guy's problem with calling you out on a big
show? I don't even know who he is. I think that offended him in its own, which you could be huge and I don't know who you are. I don't know everybody.
Right.
And because I'm geologically isolated, being in the middle of nowhere, I probably know fewer people than somebody who lives in LA or New York or, Chicago. But thanks to social media and the internet, I feel like it's really, the internet's good and bad for the hobby. Mostly good, though, I think.
Well, I'm looking at JK Reptiles, and there's a couple of different JK Reptiles. So I'm not sure that I mean, one guy has got geckos on the page. Then the other guy has a pet store. Oh, he has a berm on the page. So it says we've got balls, and it's not even a ball python, but okay.
He wants you to know he has a large pair of testicles, maybe, or they're probably small. Maybe is that the deal?
Well, this is J&K Reptiles that I'm looking at now.
Send him what link?
The link is in the help for review.
Okay.
You can click on that and then.
Okay, let's see.
So you can check it out.
So he has a channel with 2,000 subs.
Okay.
So I'm gonna Facebook message you the link to his channel so you can see who this guy is.
Okay.
Thanks for doing this today. I knew people would love it if I had you on again.
Well, I'm not sure how many people are loving it, but at least, I'm a space filler,
You meet someone pee. That's love.
I'm like those guys. I'm like a Kramer, where I was, taking the spot of the person at the Oscars when they go to the bathroom. So, let's see here.
All right, guys. Here she is. I probably get.
All right. Tiger stuff.
So he has a car, apparently.
Yeah.
What is happening?
Yeah, he's. Oh my. Oh, okay. Well, sure. This guy's one. Okay. I'm just saying. Call
All right,
Bob.
guys. Here she is.
Call Bob or call fucking Jay and get him on with this guy. That's all.
Yeah.
It'll just be so much easier to go to, right to the source of something where people actually know what's going on.
Yeah. So you're for that idea?
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah.
I think it'd be fun. And I think worst case scenario, we'll learn some new things and I think it'll entertain people. So
well, that's what I was doing. I'm doing a new segment on the show in the new year where because all these ball python people are always calling each other ripoffs.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get two people that are fighting all the time. And, I'm
Put
gonna
them in the same schoolyard?
well, I'm gonna put him on the show, and I'm gonna call the segment 15 minutes of lame, and I'm gonna give him 15 minutes to fucking talk about their dumb shit and who ripped off who for $18 and fucking it's just it's a fun way to kind of pull things out, you know.
Yeah.
Also, JT encouraged me to do like an up and coming breeders section.
I like that.
You know, I definitely want to do because I have so many people that I'd like to have on, but I don't want to have them on for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Like this is, you know, this 15
Tell
minutes.
them about your business. Well, we started 9 months ago and things are going great.
Right.
Okay.
Good. Thanks.
Thanks for being on the show.
Or just ask people one question. Why should people buy from you instead of whoever? And then let them answer it and then go from there. Because the truth of the matter is, I don't give a fuck who buys what from what. I don't care. Okay. I know that I will only buy animals from Justin, Ozzy, the Littlefields, the name brand people, you know. Yeah. I am well aware that you will pay extra money for an animal from JKR or from Ozzy or from, you know, any of the big people. They're like the Michael Kors, okay? Yeah, exactly. All the lower people, all the lower people are the Nickel Kors. Yeah. You know, they're all the ripoff people.
Here's the thing, though. People say, well, I don't know why they think their snakes are worth more money. Well, it's because they are.
Yeah.
It's because they have built their brand. And with that comes a lot. And especially the guys with channels like Justin. Yeah. You know how clean the facility is that animal came from. Right. You know the background of the breeder. You might have even seen the pairing for that animal. You know that time and energy. Okay, let's be real here. Justin and Oz are designer breeders.
Right, yeah.
They don't just throw crap together. I saw sperm plugs here. Let's try and put it with the first eligible female.
Right.
No, these guys they're artists. They're crafting an art.
They're boutique breeders. There's no doubt about that. But I've never bought a snake from Ozzy that didn't eat. On the first try. I've never bought a snake from Justin that didn't eat on the first try.
Right.
You know,
or they came to you with respiratory infection or mites or something.
That person would get lambasted on my show if he did that. And that's not to say I'm not going to buy from other people, because I absolutely would. But I'm lucky enough to be in a position where there's a lot of people I know personally. And if somebody doesn't have, like, it would be hard for me to want a snake that somebody that I know personally didn't produce.
Right.
You know, so there's certain people, like everybody that I've had on my show, although I may have issues with, you know, since time has passed, I still trust their animals.
Right.
You know? And I've had a lot of people on the fucking show. So it's like anybody that, if I want a specific animal, I could call up minimum 30 people and ask them if they have it. Will it happen, you know, where there'll be somebody that I never heard of? Probably not, because if you're producing the kind of quality animals that we go after, somebody that I trust would recommend you. And I could trust buying that. So I would definitely buy from the smaller breeders. I don't want to make it sound like I won't, but I won't buy from the person that's producing a new line of yellow belly. That's a bullshit fucking line. People like that, like fucking. I'm not gonna.
I'm gonna call my morph the Yellow Brick Road because it's slightly more yellowy than the other yellow belly.
I'm like, fuck you, man. Cut the shit. You know. So I know enough people on the East Coast, on the West Coast, and everywhere in between that I could call if I want some. Right now, I happen to not want anything, you know?
Okay, so I know that I promised you I wasn't going to pick your brain about ball pythons because it's worn out. But I do want to know what your thoughts are on the scaleless projects.
Bullshit. I think it's bullshit. I think that it's a cool pet, but if you want to keep multiple scaleless,
Yeah.
you have to change your whole way of breeding and keeping snakes, and I don't want to do that. You know, there's no way. But like, I don't want to fucking have to bag bomb a fucking snake every fucking 3 days just to make sure that it sheds okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to pull off a dry shed and it pulls the actual skin off the fucking animal. Like,
right.
I might do that on one snake, but I'm not going to do that on 50 snakes.
Right.
Or even 30 snakes or even 10.
Uh-oh, somebody's got to pitch in.
It's just like masturbation. You know you're good at it, so why worry about it?
That's what I'm saying. But I don't want to have to do it to another snake.
Snake?
Okay, yeah. So I don't know. I just don't see it. It's a cool thing, and I'm sure when they get a bunch of different morphs, it's going to be, they're going to look nicer, but I really don't care.
Well, I wasn't for it personally, but after seeing what Daniel Ellison and Lone Star Reptiles are doing, I'm on board. They're beautiful, and I think they're neat. I thought that they were going to be unmanageable, but now that it looks like they're working out some of the bugs and they're coming up with pretty easy husbandry, it's not so complicated. The way Daniel's keeping them, they're maintaining themselves for the most part. Are they riskier? Yeah, but I don't know. I think that's just a part of the game. And I also, too, do want you to talk for at least 2 minutes about the ranging.
Okay. First of all, Daniel is a friend of mine. Okay. I actually like Daniel a lot.
You didn't name him as one of the hottest guys. You don't think he's hot?
What's that?
You didn't name him as one of the hottest guys. You don't think he's a sexy reptile breeder?
He's not really my type.
Okay.
Not really my type. But I still like the guy,
Okay. Still, even though, did you hear that, Daniel? Chris is not in love, but he does love you.
That's right. He's definitely, he's a cool cat, man. He's definitely, and he was down in Arlington, and he came on the show too. And he was on the show prior to that. Like I did a long form interview with him. I just don't necessarily agree. I don't think I was around when Mike Wilbanks offered me a fucking scaleless head for $50,000. Okay. And I watched the fucking price drop.
Right.
I was around when, two of the guys from Florida ruined the fucking market by selling them for $1,800 a piece.
Yeah.
I was around when the guys could barely get $600 a piece for scaleless heads.
Right.
So now I don't even know what full scaleless animals are going for. They're probably going for like $5,000, maybe $7,000.
Depends on the morph.
And I think that under the table you could get them for $1,500. So that's what I think about those.
Then get me some, because I can't.
What?
I said, if you can, then get me some, because I can't.
Yes, you could. If you went to a show and there was a scaleless there, like even just a normal, and it was a male, and you fucking looked at the guy and said, "I got $1,500 cash," he'd probably fucking take it. I mean, that's just the way the business runs. I'm
gonna say Chris said, and see what happens.
Yeah, you could tell him that. I don't give a fuck.
Okay.
Shit. What else? Oh, the ranging. Ranging's still going strong. I'm not really in the ranging thing anymore. Danny took over all of those.
Okay.
But he's still doing some nice shit with him. This is the one exception. He does have a bunch of rain head clowns. I'm definitely curious to see what comes out of that. Because I think if a rain clown actually comes out, that'll really open up the whole fucking gene. But Danny's breeding those now. I don't have any rains here at all anymore. But I just got strangers and clowns and stuff like that. But Danny's knocking out stuff like that. I think Ken Masick is also into the into the rain gene. This dickhead in England who I can't stand named Mill Stacker, who's a real fucking just cunt rag. He's dealing with the fucking rain gene too. And although he has rain genes that I don't think are rains, but he's marketing them as rains. You know,
why don't you think they're rains?
Well, I don't think they're rains because you could really tell at like 6 months old what the rain gene's doing as far as fading and pattern changing. But he claims to have bought some stuff from Ralph way back when that had anything in it, you know. So I'm not going to argue with a guy
who identified that gene.
What's that?
Who first identified that gene?
Well, Ralph first identified it as amber. And then when we bought, we thought we were buying the whole project. So we marketed it as rain. We renamed it, you know.
Oh, okay.
But apparently the gene was floating around in Ralph's collection. So certain people got it in like England and certain people, you know, that Ralph wholesale to. So now Ken Masick is working with it. There's a couple other guys working with it. So it's going to be fun to look at. You know, do I think it's going to be the $50,000 gene? No, probably not. But I do think it'll be, you know, a $5,000 to $8,000 gene.
Yeah.
You know, at least starting off. So I can't really, you know, say a lot about the bigger animals because they're all, you know, with Danny now. But and I haven't seen him for months because you know, I see Danny a lot, but we're always, you know, it's either for work or we're going to dinner. You know, we're never at each other's house. You know,
right.
So Donato is doing a lot of great things with like clown axanthic stuff. So everybody kind of, you know, took their own projects off, you know, and kept the majority of those, you know. So that's how we're working it right now. But I hope the rain thing, you know, the rain gene thing does really, you know, work out because it's a cool fucking gene that, and I know you could say this about a lot of genes, but when you really stack it, you could really tell an animal with rain versus not with rain.
Cool.
When they're babies, it takes about 6 months and, you know, 4 or 5 sheds to really realize what's coming out of it. So it's exciting, and you know, we're still very much in it because obviously I'm going to have to sell them all if you know Danny doesn't have babies, and same with Donato. Like it all comes back to me because I know how to do all the shit. Right. So we'll see. Hopefully this year, you know, I would love to see a rain clown, you know, and not.
What's your favorite combo right now that's already out?
As far as the rain stuff, we got Super Phantom Enchi Rains head clowns.
Wow.
We have Phantom Rain Enchi head clowns. We have Spider Rains and Pastel Spider Rains, which kind of look like bumblebees, but a little bit different. Trying to think what else. Oh, we have Super Mojave Rains, which you could actually tell that the rain is in there. And then we have, I don't remember. I know Danny took about 25 different combos with him.
Wow.
So, and I don't keep track of them anymore because they're obviously at his house, you know? So yeah, so we maxed out at probably about 10 combos. And whoa, what's going on there? What are we doing?
Calm down, Chris. We're talking about the rain gene. Focus
okay.
your mind. That big bulbous head of yours.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, that big bulbous head. Anyway, so yeah, Danny's maintaining that stuff. So I'll probably, you know, if I can, I'll get some pictures from him and you know throw them up there. I know a couple other people are working with it too, so it's pretty exciting to kind of just have put it out there and let people figure out themselves what's going on with it. Because
so are any of them available right now? Or are you guys still?
We don't have any of them available.
Okay.
So I don't think anybody does right now.
I don't know of any. That's why I'm asking about it.
Yeah, I think that the two other guys, I don't even remember their names, but the two other ones had ones that were just getting ready to go this year. Ken might have put out some, but I don't think any are available. But the ones that he did put out, you're like, holy fuck, man. It's like he put out like a Purple Passion something Paradox Rain.
Wow.
And it was, I mean, Kenny is the guy Kenny puts out sick shit all year. So he's the guy to watch for the rain stuff. And some stuff's going on in Europe, which I don't really pay attention to.
Yeah.
And, and that's about it. I'm still, so I'm peripherally involved in the whole thing. Whole project,
Well, I've kept you on here for 3 hours, and I know that you filmed for literally 15 hours yesterday. So, if people don't know yet, tell them how to get onto your website, your podcast, all that stuff.
Okay, well, you could go to snakesandthefatman.com or satfmpc.com. That's snakesandthefatmanpodcast.com. You could Gmail me at snakesandthefatmanpodcast snakesandthefatman@gmail.com. You could email chrisand.chem@gmail.com, and that's the email for my one black friend and my one white friend, which is a pretty funny podcast to listen to if anybody's interested. But again, it's not safe for work, just like all my other podcasts.
Yeah.
And then Facebook, go join the group, my one black friend and my one white friend. The Facebook group, Facebook Snakes and the Fatman. But it's pretty self-explanatory. All right.
And I'll link everything below.
Yeah, my one black friend, my one white friend.
Awesome.
And I'm Chris Eaton. You can find me on Facebook.
Not Chris with a Z?
No, not Chris. Not Chris. That's my street name. Duncan calls me that. Chris.
Yo, Chris, what's up, Holmes?
He's like, hi there, ho, Chris. All right.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Callie Joe's on here. Snake Man, DVL Exotics is still here. Let's see who else is still on. There have been people that have been on for the whole show pretty much. Northern Exotics, John Wilder, Gotta Love Gay from Gotta Love Carpet Pythons. Yeah, you guys are awesome. So thank you for watching. Everybody, I'm going to link all Chris's contact information. His podcasts are priceless. This was like probably PG rated compared to some of the stuff they talk about. Yeah. But I would definitely, his show is entertaining, if nothing else.
Can I say one more thing?
Yes.
If anybody is in Texas, Houston, Texas, January 25th and 26th, and they're going to the Conroe Herp Show. We're going to be there recording. If you want to get in on the show, whether you're a vendor, whether you're a fan, just come on over. Drop me an email ahead of time, and we'll get you on the show for 15 minutes. Last time we were in Texas, we interviewed about 40 or 50 people. I would like to see if we could actually beat that number this time.
It was everyone but me.
Yeah, everybody except Marita, because Marita came to my table and stared at me like fucking she had just won third place at the Special Olympics.
Yep.
One word.
Chris didn't love me yet. He didn't love me until after the show when he saw some of my pictures.
Yeah, because she wasn't wearing the shirt. If she was wearing that shirt,
then
she would have been on the show.
You should have sent it to me earlier and I would have been.
I didn't even know you earlier.
See? That's the problem. But
oh my God. Seriously, thank you so much for letting me be on today. I appreciate it.
Yes. So thanks to DEA Exotics and everybody else that was on the chat. You guys are awesome. Love you guys. Have a happy Sunday and a safe holiday. And we'll see you guys next time.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Thank you.